England is through to the European Cup semi-finals. Wimbledon is down to the final 16. The weather is looking half decent. If you're looking for a space in a pub garden right now, you're facing the perfect storm. Alternatively, if you're looking for a perfect storm at home, Vocation's got you covered. Hello there and welcome back to Brew Report, where this week we've given up on trying to record in beer gardens. They're fantastic, I love the atmosphere, I love the buzz, I love the vibrancy. I don't like trying to record audio when I'm surrounded by shirtless men shouting England with very firmly pronounced 3 syllables. So instead I'm sitting here at home with this. It's Vocation's latest offering, or at least the latest one that I've found. It's called Perfect Storm, a New England Pale Ale that you can pick up from their website for £3.25, or you can pick up for a very similar price if you go to either Asda or Sainsbury's right now. Let's take a look at the can first. It's a pretty attractive design. We've got a kraken swallowing up a clipper there, drawing it under the waves just as lightning crashes in the background. Ironic really, because by all accounts, checking out what's in this beer, drinking it should be pretty smooth sailing. There's a pretty hefty amount of wheat and oats in there, which will help to soften the experience out. You generally don't get a great deal of bitterness in a New England Pale Ale, so it should generally be a very smooth, sweet, smooth experience. Packed full of citrus aromas and a boatload of hops, this New England Pale is dank and juicy, with full-on flavours and a low bitterness. It's 6.6%, so not the sort of thing you'd have for a full session, but certainly a nice way to quench one's thirst after a long day out, enjoying what appears to be fairly unusual July sunshine. So in terms of this beer's appearance, it's a pale sort of orange colour with a very thick, pillowy, billowing white head. There's an awful lot of froth in this beer. Good amount of carbonation by the look of things. It looks cloudy, hazy. It looks thick, and certainly, given the amount of oats and wheat in here, that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. The aroma is beautiful. There's a load of really sweet tropical flavours in here. I'm getting a lot of pineapple, a bit of papaya, orange, a touch of, it's more sort of mandarin rather than straight up orange, or some kind of slightly sweeter flavours in there. Grapefruit, but sweet grapefruit, rather than the bitterness there. And maybe just a little touch of pale malt, a slight biscuity nuttiness to it as well. Oh, that's good. So it starts off with a lot of orange. It's that sweet kind of orangey flavour, that tangerine, that mandarin, maybe even blood orange, before transitioning into a much drier grapefruity flavour. There's hints of those other tropical fruits coming through, that pineapple, that papaya, but really dominating is that grapefruit coming through on the palate at least. More pineapple on the aroma, more grapefruit on the palate. It's more dry than bitter. There's a touch of bitterness there. I know the blurb here promised us low bitterness. There's just a touch, but it's mostly this sort of dry, this combination of sort of hoppy dryness and astringency, and just enough sort of malty biscuitiness to balance that out. It's very drinkable. I'm liking this a lot. Now, one of the reasons I was quite interested to try this beer is because I've seen others review it, and it's had fairly mixed feedback. Some saying that it's far too bitter, some saying that it's a bit off. And I think, having tasted it, it's certainly not what I'm getting at all, but I have a theory here. I know others have said it's, their theory is that there's sort of something to do with supermarket margins. I think this is related to what we've seen on the can here. 100% cold chain. This is a very hoppy beer. It is meant to be stored cool and drunk while still very fresh. If I were buying it from a specialist beer retailer where all the beers are kept in fridges, I'm confident that's going to be the case. If I'm getting this from a supermarket, I do not have the slightest bit of confidence that they've taken good care of this beer. It may not have been at cold chain the whole way through. It's probably been stored in an overheated lorry for a few hours, frankly. And that just means that the beer's not going to be at its best. And that's just another reminder that if you are buying these craft beers, yes, you can get them cheaply at supermarkets. Yes, you can get a 440ml can for £3 or whatever it is. But paying that just that little bit extra, going to the breweries directly or going to a tap room, it doesn't just mean that you're giving them slightly more money to work with and giving them a fair payment for their beers. It also means you're getting a high quality product because they care about the quality there. They're going to make the effort to make sure it's delivered to you in the best possible condition in a way that the big supermarkets just don't. That dryness really means that the finish sort of gets torn away from you fairly quickly, but it leaves you with a sort of tingling, spiced aftertaste, a little bit peppery, which is enough variety to keep me interested with every sip. Score-wise, I think I'm going to give this a 4. It's a bloody good beer. And certainly, having had it stored well, chilled, and picked up presumably relatively fresh, it works very well indeed. But I can completely see how, had it not been stored so well, and had I picked it from a supermarket, that week hadn't been unloading its beers quite as quickly, I might have had a very different experience. But in this instance, a good beer. And certainly I would imagine if you're ordering this directly from Vocation, you're going to have a very good time. But that's about enough from me. What I want to hear now is, what did you think? Have you tried this beer? What's your experience been like drinking beers from supermarkets? Have you had a couple of bad batches, or have you generally found they've been okay? Whatever your thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, do check out the rest of the videos on my channel and go to brewreport.co.uk where I post fresh content every Sunday. And until next week, happy drinking.